these fine people an opportunity to take a few minutes and explain what they are able to offer and their role. I'm Bob Hanson, Consumer Bond at NBC7. I'm a member of the Penasquito Stake, and asked if I would come up and facilitate this, because after they're done, hopefully we'll have a little time if you have questions for any of the people on the panel. We're going to do it in this order. Representing the San Diego Office of Emergency Services will be Terry Sorensen, followed by Victor Rosen with San Diego Imperial Red Cross, then Dana Roberts, Trauma Intervention Program, TIP, followed by Poway Neighborhood Emergency Corporation, PNEC. I don't know if you, how do you say it?
Poway Neighborhood Emergency Corps.
Corps. So we got it right.
You're right.
And that's going to be Mark Tuttle. And then Sister Riddle from the Bishop Storehouse, followed by a video presentation by the San Diego Humane Society. And then finally, no, two more, San Diego Volunteer Organization Active in a Disaster, BOAD, and then Mickey Cross was served. So just ask you to keep it brief. We've got a lot of people who are trying to do it, so 4 or 5 minutes at most, if you can just let people know. We'll pass the mic down. I think first we're going to have your presentation.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll start here.
If you go to the San Diego website, san diegocounty.gov, you'll see this come up, the Office of Emergency Services. And I just wanted to highlight a few things here. This says the Office of Emergency Services coordinates the overall county response to disasters. OES, as it's known as, is responsible for alerting and notifying appropriate agencies when disaster strikes, coordinating all agencies that respond. Ensuing resources are available and mobilized in times of a disaster, developing plans and procedures for response to and recovery from disasters, and developing and providing preparedness materials. So I don't know how many of you know where this exists. It's in Kearney Mesa somewhere, right, on Overland, I believe, is the Office of Emergency Services. And I utilize them to help me with my community fairs. And so a lot of the reason why I'm doing this presentation for you today is the fact that I would like you not to, again, keep this information to yourself, but take it back to your wards and your stakes and, offer trainings for your congregations or, put on an emergency fair if need be. And so all of these people are here for you to network and contact with so that you can provide this information to your own communities. And I know with Riverside and Imperial, you have your own Office of Emergency Services there, so you would go to those appropriate websites and you can find some of this same information. But this one has a lot to offer, and so really quickly, I just wanted to take you through it. If you were to click onto the readysandiego.org, one of the things I asked her, if you could tell everybody here one thing you wanted them to know, she said make sure that they know about Ready San Diego and Alert San Diego and sign up for that. And that will be an alert system that will notify you on your phones of an emergency in your area. So you can see on this page how they have several references to Alert San Diego here. Down below, you can go on there and it'll show you how to make a plan, how to build a kit, stay informed, and get involved. They have trainings off to the side. You can see the little cert for information on CERT training. So if you were to then go to the San Diego County Emergency Tab. So that was on, I want to back up, on that green tab at the top there where you see it says Ready San Diego. If I were to scroll over now to the next tab, San Diego County Emergency in red, this is what you would see. And so this tells you all the different recent things that have happened. Now I downloaded this a few days ago, so this says 11/9. But how many of you knew that there was a small fire that started up called the Honey Fire over by Humboldt? Luckily they put it out right away. So this is where you would get this kind of information. So I just wanted to alert you to this. You can see down below they have Twitter feeds and so forth and so on. If you went over to the blue tab, there you have information about recovery, and you can go to all those different tabs across the board there and get the information you need to help you with insurance, rebuilding, resources, agriculture.
American Red Cross. Obviously, the Red Cross is very keen on helping people get prepared for a disaster. We respond to a disaster and help folks recover from. But we do have we'll have a table here later talking about our Speakers Bureau. Basically, folks will come out to your location and provide preparedness information and bring these Prepare San Diego booklets, which are very kind of handy. They have not only a build a kit, make a plan kind of information, but some real tips on how to prepare your home, your vehicles, your pets for a disaster and be ready to evacuate or to respond to a disaster. Also, we talked today about community shelter teams and having the wards and states become Red Cross community shelter teams. That training, of course, is all free. One thing I didn't mention is that also part of the training is CPR training. So we become CPR, first aid, and AED certified free of charge. So all of our services obviously are at no charge on that. So again, that's the community shelter team program brochures at the table. You're welcome to take these Prepare San Diego booklets, and then also just a flyer of how to contact us to ask for one of our representatives to come and talk about preparedness information, or presentation rather. Like the county, we do have an app. It's a Red Cross emergency app. Does some of the very similar things, tells you where the shelters are, gives you notice of what happened if there's an earthquake, probably you'll feel that, but if there's a fire coming or those kind of things, you can set that to whatever disaster you would like. You can also do that for other areas if you have friends on the East Coast or your children on the East Coast, so that you can keep a track and eye on them. Also gives great information on how to be prepared, some tips on the history of disasters in the area and all those kind of things. Again, that's free of charge. It's the Red Cross Emergency Act.
My name is Dana Roberts. I am with TIP, the Trauma Intervention Program. We are a volunteer organization who works alongside the first responders, the police, fire, sheriff, and emergency rooms. They call us when there's been a tragedy, and we go on scene immediately and help the family in those first few hours. So the first responders can get back to doing their job of helping the victim. And we give emotional support and practical support in that very difficult time. We respond to the small-scale tragedies involving only a single family, but we also respond to the larger ones like school shootings, mass casualties, things like that. We have trained with fire departments for mass casualty and disaster preparedness as well. And we have resources to allow those families to start functioning again immediately following their tragedy and help them start the grieving process and have somebody there just for them while the responders take care of their job.
Good morning, Bart Tuttle. I'm with the Poway Neighborhood Emergency Corps. The PNEC was formed roughly 6 years ago and is based on emergency preparedness. Our call to action is information through education via communication. What I have in front here is a map gridded in neighborhoods, which is set up with ham radio operators. I'm a ham myself, and again, information passed on and broken down into neighborhoods via neighborhood coordinators and block captains and alike, information going both to and from emergency responders and the Poway's EOC. The net, which is referred to as the PACnet, the Poway Amateur Communication Team, we meet every Tuesday night on the Mount Woodson repeater 145.180 with a negative PL tone. What we have is a nightly or a weekly net, and we all call in, and we call out our neighborhoods that we live in by number, and then go in and just give a brief check-in and information and say hello to everybody, and again, pass on information. We've been able to put together an emergency preparedness fair, which we have now. We're going to have our third coming up next year. It's in the old Poway Park, and all people are invited, as well as to have vendors and booths and alike. Again, information on emergency preparedness and how we can better prepare our citizens. We are currently looking to fund a communication trailer. The comm trailer will benefit the citizens of Poway and beyond. In the event that the Mount Woodson repeater goes down, the trailer will act as a mobile repeater. Again, FRS will be used and is now currently, we're in discussion about it to help those that are not ham radio operators. Again, this is a map of Poway, just as an example. It's what we've achieved. It takes a little time, just like everything else. But it's really helped a lot of folks get the information that they need to be better prepared in the event of an emergency. Thank you.
I'm Sister Riddle. My husband and I, Ben Riddle, my husband and I are the managers of the San Diego Bishop Storehouse, which also encompasses the Home Storage Center. Now, a lot of people have had the mistaken idea that there is no longer a home storage center at our location. I have a handout, and we'll be at almost the last table on that side, telling our hours, and also LDS.org website that you can contact. I brought some of my favorite things from the Home Storage Center. This dried milk has a 30-year shelf life. The refried beans, 30 years. And I would like everyone to come and buy one of these. This will filter pool water. So if you have a pool, you really don't need to get those big containers. You can just filter the water from your pool, or if your neighbor has a pool. This is one of my favorites because my favorite food storage items are just add water. You may not be able to cook. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to cook whole wheat overnight in my crock pot, very possibly. Maybe I'm not going to be able to make bread. But all of the items I brought today are just add water. So if you can access the water, possibly boil it on your barbecue, you can put together a meal for your family. I brought a price list. These are the current prices for right now, but they have gone up. Our registers just haven't shown the change yet. So all of us that serve in the storehouse have already really loaded up on the former prices. But this, for example, is going up $1. And when you're thinking cases, it's going to be a little bit of out-of-pocket expense. Another suggestion I'd like to make is you probably all have wonderful food storage over the years. But how about your kids? That's what our kids are getting for Christmas again. That's what they got last year. That's what they're getting this year. So please visit us at the table. We also have the price list in Spanish for those of you who speak Spanish. And I have been told the refried beans are as good as anything your mother ever made. We have some emergency kits down here. Please get your 72-hour kit. When I hear about a disaster in New York and there's no milk for the baby in the refrigerator, how does that happen? Why is there not something in your house to feed your family for at least a week or two? Why do you not have your things gathered together in case you need to get in the car and take off? Everyone needs a backpack. Your kids all got new backpacks this year. Take their old backpack and fill it up with their needs and put it in the car.
Terry, next.
Good afternoon. My name is Renee Peters, and I serve as the Sergeant of Community Engagement for the San Diego Humane Society's Animal Rescue Reserves. We are a highly trained group of volunteers, 42 strong, that work alongside the San Diego Humane Society's humane law enforcement. We assist them with various animal needs, including situations where animals might be in harm's way, whether it be a dog that's fallen into a well, a horse that's gone down and the horse owners need assistance getting the horse back up, In addition to wide-scale emergencies such as wildfires, we are trained to go behind fire lines, so we assist in those times of need in helping animal owners get their animals off the premises and evacuated once they have become evacuated themselves, in addition to going back after when it's a little bit safer to water and feed large-scale animals such as horses and cattle and chickens that may have sheltered in place. In addition to our operational side of animal rescue reserves, we also reach out to the public with events such as this one that you are at today to give community education about having a plan for disasters with their animals and including your animals. We all know that animals are our families and pets are our families, so why wouldn't we include them in our emergency evacuation plans and in our kits? Animal rescue reserves are dispatched by different organizations throughout San Diego County. That could be Department of Animal Services, the San Diego Humane Society, in addition to CAL FIRE, the Sheriff's Office, and even Forestry. At that time that we are dispatched, we will go out and we will assist the community with any needs and the animals that are needing our assistance in being evacuated. At this time, the only other resources or rescue volunteer organizations that I'm aware of that would go outside of the San Diego area would be in Riverside, and also actually, that's the only one at this time that I know of. I do not believe that Imperial Valley has a organization such as ARR at this time. That doesn't mean that we would not be able to respond in those areas. We would just have to be dispatched by the local authorities and asked to assist. At this time, we do have several MOUs and partnerships throughout the nation with other organizations to assist in disaster response throughout the United States. But again, I stress that we do have to be dispatched by an overseeing organization. In addition to our operational side, we also reach out to the community and perform community engagement, as what I'm doing today, in hopes of educating the public on how to incorporate their animals into their disaster planning and having a kit for each of one of their animals. We enjoy doing this because it also gets ARR out into the public and lets people know who we are, lets them rest assured that they do have highly trained individuals that are really looking out for them and their animals in times of need. But again, also it allows us to let them know that there are things and steps that they can take prior to a disaster, during a disaster, and after a disaster to properly care for their animals. Again, we all know that we love our pets very much and they are family. There have been several previous disasters such as Katrina that have taught us a lot about how we should treat our animals in these times of need. And with being a part of ARR, we are able to do that. At this time, again, we are primarily in the San Diego County area, and we are always open to work with other organizations throughout the community, specialty fairs, disaster preparedness fairs, and things like that. So I reach out to each one of you, and if this is something that you are interested in, please let me know. My information will be at the end of this presentation, and I'd be happy to set something up with you and come out and speak on behalf of ARR, what we do, and how we do it, as well as maybe present some ideas to your groups and the people within your organizations on how to better prepare themselves and their animals for a potential disaster, whether that be a fire, whether that be flooding, whether that be earthquake, or even potential other areas, hurricanes and things like that. We may not see these things, but it's always better to think about it before it happens, just in case. So again, I appreciate the opportunity today to videotape and speak with you, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I hope to hear from each of you soon. Have a great day. Thank you.
Everyone, my name is Joanne Klinger. I'm representing San Diego VOAD. VOAD stands for Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster. We're a nonprofit organization comprised of other nonprofit organizations. So all of our members are nonprofit, either community-based or organizations or faith-based organizations. Our mission is interagency cooperation, communication, coordination, and collaboration. So we focus on preparing interagency planning, relief, response, and recovery. The organization has been in place since around 1970. We're a part of the Southern California VOAD organization, which is also related to a national VOAD organization. Again, it's a voluntary organizations active in disaster. Thank you.
And my name is Mickey Cross. I am here with CERT. CERT is Community Emergency Response Teams. And actually they have CERT or CERT type programs throughout the entire country. And the state of California obviously is participating in that as well. So we are sponsored by individual fire agencies, and we are under Office of Emergency Services as well. And the nice thing about CERT, I think I've been in CERT myself for over 6 years, and I'm with the Elephant Forest Harmony Grove CERT group. The nice thing about CERT is you get to learn how to do different things that you've never done before. So if you've never been able to use your fire extinguisher in the house, we train you to use a fire extinguisher, just for small things. We don't go for big buildings, just trash can sized fires. We are taught how to crib, which is extricating somebody. Let's say a part of a wall falls down on somebody. We are trained to raise that up to be able to get that person pulled out and save them. We're taught basic triage in order to save a life. We're not RNs, but we've got the basic information. A lot of us go through the Red Cross training for CPR and first aid. We also are taught to do building size up. So if you walk up to a building and say, should I enter that building or not, they give you the tools to decide whether or not that is a structurally sound building to go in and check out and see if there are people in there that need to be rescued. We do search and rescue inside homes or buildings as well, and they teach you how to do that. I think that's probably about it. The nice thing about CERT is that you get to know your neighbors, and each CERT group, there's about 32 CERT groups in San Diego County in the cities and the unincorporated areas. And each CERT group is different, so they set their own standards as far as how often you're trained. In our particular group, I think we try and do a training maybe every other month, a mini training, and try and keep it to the point so if you don't practice what you've learned, you're going to lose it and forget it. I think that's probably about all. Just one other thing on some of these forms. You can download forms to send to people in your community or within your ward boundaries. Red Cross has them. Ready San Diego, Burn Institute, FEMA, lots of excellent information to pass on to people.